This is Leanna, and that clip of Delroy Lindo dancing made me want to dance with him.
I'm Monique, and I am obsessed with Hamilton.
I'm Siobhan, and I think tequila makes everything better.
This is Stacia, and I think that Scandal was a good show until it wasn't.
And this is the Confab Experience.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the very first inaugural episode of the Confab Experience podcast.
Oh, yay.
Welcome. Whoop, whoop. Burr, 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 burr. So today, because it is National Girlfriends Day, we decided to dedicate this episode to all things girlfriends. The four of us have known each other for a really long time, half of our lives. More than half of our lives, some of us. We've been through a lot, and but it's important to maintain these wonderful friendships that we have.
Yeah.
So with that, I think we should jump right in to Feast or Famine. So we call this segment Feast or Famine because we, as friends, talk about everything.
Yeah.
Talk about many things a lot. Have really big opinions on a lot of things, talk for
sure.
days and days on things. And then sometimes, we can't really be bothered. It could be a lot going on in the world, but we're just like, we're over it. So that's sort of the idea behind Feast or Famine.
It's time for Feast or Famine.
So today, in honor of National Girlfriends Day, I think we should chat just a little bit about girlfriends and friendships in general. You
Let's
guys
do
good
it.
with that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yes, let's do it.
All right. So like I said before, we've all known each other for a really long time, but I'm sure we all have friends that, have come into our lives and quickly gone for various reasons.
Right.
Yes.
But everyone asked me like how we've all known each other for so long and been close for so long. So what do you guys think about like what the formula for a good lasting friendship is? Like, what is the secret?
Well, so I don't know if this is a good time to talk about the equation, like the friendship equation.
Is there a friendship equation?
What's the friendship equation?
There's a friendship equation. And like, I think once you realize that there is an equation to friendship, you probably will look at your friendships that have lasted or the ones that haven't, or even like realize that it's harder to make friends later in life versus when we were kids.
Yeah, definitely.
Because there's an equation. So, okay. I don't know if it's like Einstein's theory of, I don't know any of that, but it's like, I don't know if it's like 2 times. So it's proximity, frequency, and duration, and then intensity. So proximity, just like how close you are physically, how close you are to somebody. So then you could see them more often depending on how close you are to them physically. And then frequency is the number of times, of course, that you're seeing somebody.
Right.
And then the duration of the times that you see somebody. So like if you see somebody, and apparently, not to get like too technical, but apparently it's like an inverse relationship between frequency and duration. So like if you see somebody a whole bunch of times, you could see them for 5 minutes at a time if you see them like 20 times a week. Or the opposite. Like if you live far from somebody and you only see them twice a year, then you probably will end up spending like hours catching up. Yeah. Like, and then intensity is like just how much you share and like how intense the relationship is, like how what those connections are.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And it completely makes sense as to why it's harder to do as you get older, because your life becomes so full of other things.
Right.
Like all of us became friends when we were younger, in high school and in college.
Yeah.
So you were kind of forced to be around each other every day.
Right.
Right. Like now, trying to find someone who, like, you don't have time to.
So it's the time and not the care. Because I always thought that like the older you got, the less you started to care about
people.
Say people, but like you have your group. And now at this point, I'm just looking like I got my Sunday. I got the basics of my Sunday, and I'm looking for a little sprinkle. The Sunday is really good. I can do, I could.
You have the nice foundation, the
I got
vanilla
a nice
ice cream foundation.
Yeah.
But there are people who get to being, in their 30s and 40s and don't have like strong friendships that they have from when they were younger. So there has to be some kind of, I don't think it's the care thing. I really just think that you no longer have opportunity to like cultivate those kinds of relationships.
Yeah.
I don't know. It might be the care thing.
I think it's the care thing.
It might be the care thing.
I've picked up some good friends in my 20s, like not counting you guys, in my 20s. My 30s, let's say I picked up one good one in my 30s too, right? So I'm open to it, but I've also like people who are not, I feel like your friends are unique in the sense that like we have to have the same values. We have to like, I'm actually not looking for my friends to challenge me in certain ways. I'm not looking for them to like have completely different thought patterns than my own, or value patterns than my own. Like open, like I want my friends to challenge me, but I don't want them to be like, oh, I believe,
mass murder is okay.
Exactly. Mass murder is okay. You should too. No. No, we have to have the same values. And I look to other people to like learn and learn more about and stretch myself in different ways. But your friends, I think it's really kind of hard to find people who have the same set of values that you have the older you get.
Yeah, I think that was a nice thing about having friends from high school, elementary school, and college, because on the like foundation level, you're like, okay, it's important to you to like keep going to class, like, or your parents find education important and they bring you here every day, or like there's like, at least there's some commonality that's just there,
right?
And now when you meet people in the wild, you're like,
Wild West out there.
It's the Wild West.
It's too rare to find someone that you have commonality with,
like,
and that you have time to cultivate that friendship.
Yeah. You're like, oh, you do think mass murder is okay. Like, I just thought that was...
I thought you were joking the first time you said it, but now it's like the third or fourth time. And I got to tell you, it's starting to make me a little nervous.
Do you think mass murder is okay?
I do not. For the record.
For the record.
Okay.
I do think...
Well, I mean, what's the situation? I'm just kidding. No, I do not.
Yeah.
So.
I think also, like, for me, like, I'm comfortable. Like, I have you guys, right? And you guys know me, and you know my little quirks and my little like weird things that I do and how I am. And you have accepted me for that.
Yes.
And so in my mind, it's like, do I really want to go out and try to find someone else?
You don't want to break anybody new in.
Right. Exactly. It's like, y'all already know that I'm weird. Y'all already know that I tend to do crazy things sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, you know how I'm going to respond to things. You know, like, when to push, when not to push. Like, it's comfortable.
Yeah.
And so,
that's the thing. What you
like,
said right
that's
there,
time.
when to push and when not to push. I think that is an important part of like friendship, like what makes a good friend. Because you can have someone who you kind of just, getting to know or whatever. And I have a cousin that is always like, I am completely honest. I'm always honest. I'm like, nobody wants that, kid.
Too much.
I only say I want honesty, and I do want honesty, but just, just so much of it. There's
Right.
and your friends know where that honesty
How much
line
honesty.
is.
Yeah.
Right.
And like,
Yeah.
I don't want you to lie to me, but some things, I don't really want you to say. And once you got those folks, they know what that is.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what, like, if you have someone then that you're friends with,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm someone who just sort of like lets friendships fade away. Like, oh, if I
Yes.
don't call you back for 3 months and then for 8 months and then for 2 years, then I'm good. Have you guys ever had to just like completely just like cut somebody off?
Has anybody had to do that?
I have had to cut a few people off. Okay. Okay.
Tell us about it.
What was the
Well,
breaking point?
honestly, I think when I think back of the relationship that I had to break up with, like a real relationship, the breaking point, just like in a real relationship, became something so simple. Like, she didn't call back when she said she was going to call back. And I was like, fuck it. I don't want to do this anymore. It's too much. You can't even do this. Okay.
Oh Lord.
So
the friend scorned.
So what I have learned about myself, and I think Monique and I share the similarity. Oh gosh, I'm about to share, is that
Uh-oh.
I know I'm actually not a sharer, but what I've really learned about myself is that because I have a pretty bubbly personality and I'm pretty like intense with every conversation I'm having, like, hey, how are you? Because I care in the moment. I find that people think that we are closer than we are, which is okay, except for when it starts coming to expectations. And then I start falling short. And then in the relationship or the friendship that has passed, one common theme is I have fallen short of an expectation that I didn't know that I needed to meet. This has hurt somebody. I had to sit there and they cried and I had to check myself because I was like, this is hurting this person. And like,
I wasn't
even thinking about it. I wasn't even thinking about it. And, but I'm not a heartless person. So I wasn't trying to hurt the person. But what I realized was that her ask was too big. And I will say this, I've learned her ask, not her ass, but her ask. Her ask.
I was going to say,
am I getting judged on the size of my ass?
I mean, add that to the friend equation.
Let me put this cookie down real quick before Stacia cuts me off.
Your badonk ain't exactly where it need to be. So I don't know. I think I learned at an early age. I've shared with you guys my little nanobites of energy, but I'll share with our listeners. I don't know if I've come up with this thing, or let's say I did, but I don't know if I did. I think that you have like 10 units of energy to give to any one person. 10 is on high. My child gets 9.5% of my energy. She can't get 10. She can't get 10. Only 10 is me. But she gets the most that I could give to another human being. You guys get a lot. My family gets a lot.
I was wondering if she was going to give us a number.
I'm not. I can't because I'm not thinking about it. I know.
What percentage of 0.5 do we get?
You guys get a lot. You guys are on the other side of 6 for sure.
Okay, I'll take it.
On the other side of 7 for sure.
Okay.
But anybody else, those numbers between like 5 and 7 are up for grabs, but this person was operating at a 3 for me. And I think she thought that we were at a 7. And I realized she was asking something I couldn't give. So
Right.
we broke up.
Right. For her, you were a 7.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's so interesting that that you broke up with her. I've never had to be like, listen, this has been cool, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna call you anymore, and I really don't want you to call me either with a friend. It's never happened.
I'm gonna unfollow you on social.
Now I have had a big going out with a friend. Like we both knew at the end of this, we're not going to talk anymore.
Yeah.
And that was hard for me because I didn't think that it was going to end like that. But but still, that wasn't like it's not you, it's me.
Right.
Like whole conversation. I think for the most part, you just kind of phase out. And it's actually not really a conscious decision. I can't really think of anybody who I was like, I don't want to talk to them anymore, so I'm just going to not talk to them anymore. It just happened. Like you just kind of do outgrow people. Like that is a real thing. Yeah. And then at one point you realize, I don't want to stay up all night drinking every day with you. Like I got to get up for work in the morning. You don't have a job and I got things to do. And we're just not compatible. So like when they call you to come out the first time, the second time, the third time, like after a while they stop inviting you. And that's really kind of how I think it's been for the most part.
Yeah.
For me. And not, if anybody who's out there listening who was one of those people, it really is not.
You gonna break up with them on the podcast, Monique?
It's not you.
Gonna explain this on the podcast?
It's me.
DMs are blowing up right now.
Not you. It's me.
Somebody's out there thinking, "Oh wait, that was me. I called.
I did invite her.
I invited it, and she stopped answering."
But I really just don't think that it's intentional. That's really what I'm trying to say. Is I can't think of anybody, and the person who they know that it was intentional. But other than that, it really hasn't been anybody. Like I really have true love for a lot of folks who I was closer with earlier on, but we're just not as close as we are now. You know what I mean? Like I think that's a thing. And I think that's cool too, where we can get together once every 3 years and like have a great time. And then that's it. And then
that's not a breakup. That's not a breakup. See,
it's kind of how I live all my relationships.
Well, I mean, and you have taught me that after that breakup, I've just faded to the side.
They might be cool one day.
Yeah, they might be cool one day. But this person was actively telling me how I was not meeting her expectations.
Yeah, no, that was a thing that had to happen. And I understand that.
It felt, she was a great person. It was in my 20s. But what it was she didn't know when to stop, and I didn't know how to use my voice to say, hey, chill. And then I wasn't being honest with her. And then all she was reacting off of what she thought I should have done. And so I learned a good lesson there, but it had to be done.
So I think that like I have a, hermit problem. And so I think that, so I think the thing that I'm guilty of is more like not leaning into my friendships always, like I've been blessed to have friends who are pull, like they pull me out and they invite me out and they haven't gotten tired of, calling me twice back to back or, whatever it is like,
right.
But if at any point that dynamic changes, like they may feel like I don't appreciate them because I can get into my, I'm okay with the quarantine for the most part. Like I don't need to be, out and about. But, and then the other thing that I would say as I've gotten older is like leaning into the whole, like, if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. So like where I spend my energy and who I pour into, like I'm only putting energy into people that I want to really
say that again.
Yeah,
right.
It just
more time.
The time is too
it's precious and it's finite.
Precious. It's finite. And it's finite.
Yeah. Although I like, because I'm big on saying no. Like me, like no. I mean, my sister will be like, do you want to go for a walk outside? I'm like, nope. It'll take 10 minutes. Nope. What I think I have to be careful of, though, is getting too comfortable saying no. Like it's at some point, I do have to say yes because I do fear that whole, she never does anything, so why bother asking?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm thankful for you guys who know that I'm going to say no, but continue to invite me anyway for 20 years. Thanks.
Yes. And I think it's important to set boundaries too. That's the other thing. That's a struggle. That's like the opposite side of it for me. In relationships, like friendships.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not in my friendships. Maybe in other aspects of my life, but boundary setting is big. And so what at least you do, and you do purposely, Siobhan, whether or not you do it too much, is set boundaries. And I appreciate that. And I always try to learn from that, because sometimes I find myself saying yes to things that I mean no to. And then I get resentful and I have nobody to blame but myself, because I knew it was a no when the person asked.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah. Listen, sometimes I just want to sit on the couch because I'm tired, because I work and I have a young one. But yeah, okay.
I still
You're
feel
a
like
people
we should
pleaser,
move.
though.
What'd you say, Siobhan?
I was going to say, Stacia, you're a people pleaser.
I am.
And it took you a long time to get used to the fact that I say no to you.
Yes, there was a point, right after college where our relationship was rocky. I don't want to.
There was?
Oh goodness.
Rocky?
Not rocky, but I definitely had to call Leanna and say, we live in the same town.
Why is she pulling me into this? Don't say my name.
Leanna, you knew?
I don't know anything that she's talking about. You know how my mind and my memory works.
And then
I was about to get broken up with?
No, never that.
No, she would have called you and said that, I think if we were friends,
it's me.
I mean, I think if we were married, we would need counseling. And
Monique, why do you say that?
Because I definitely got one of those calls.
Okay.
Oh. We're putting it all on the
Just
table
became
tonight.
Very uncomfortable for me.
No. But I appreciate it, because I really feel like I explained what was hard for me, and she explained how it made her feel, and we worked on it. And I mean, 20 years later, here we are.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We're fine.
I believe in saying how I feel. So Siobhan, you knew that I wanted to see you more, and you said, hey, I'm busy, because you want to know why? I have a young one and you don't.
True that.
So
True that.
So yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So I've always been intrigued by this term frenemy, because I don't understand that. Like, if you don't like someone, that's not your friend. Like, I never really understood it. So can someone please explain? Have you ever had a frenemy? And if so, what does that mean?
It's really hard for me to think of this as an adult. I can understand it in high school, I think. I don't know. And if somebody can be like, no, it's this is the kind of situation that it happens. I can't really, I don't know. I think it'll take too much energy. To me, a frenemy is someone who you're friendly with, but you really don't like behind the scenes. Like, you're upfront friends with, but behind the scenes you don't like. I ain't got it.
Right. That's why I don't really understand the concept. Like, you're either my friend or you're not. But then again, I'm not.
It seems like some Mean Girls high school thing.
Well, hold on one second. Before we start saying judgy things like some Mean Girls kind of thing, Leanna, see your face over there. What are your thoughts on frenemies?
I don't have any thoughts.
Wait a minute now.
I have no thoughts about this. None.
Famine, okay.
And Leanna's done. Leanna's done now. Okay.
All I'll say is that
Not quite done. All right.
There are some bitches out there, and that's all I got to say about that's all I have to say about that.
Are they your friends? Or
No.
you really are just saying that that's all you
No,
have to
just
say?
it's just a statement that I would like to leave right there.
I mean, I think that is the universal truth. There are some bitches out there.
True.
They know who they are.
They do.
The worst is when they don't know who they are.
Mm. Do you think that's possible? Can the bitches not know who they are?
Sometimes they think they're doing it under the umbrella of keeping it real. I'm just keeping it real. Like, I want to be straight with you, so I can say any rude and nasty thing that comes to my mind because I just want you to know what other people, me, think about decisions you're making. And I don't care. My need to get it out trumps how it might make you feel.
Yeah.
And that to me is a person who hasn't come to terms with their bitchiness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, speaking of keeping it real, and again, in honor of National Girlfriend's Day,
Yes.
we're gonna launch into our No Shame segment. No shame.
No shame.
No shame.
No
So no
shame.
shame is we're gonna throw out some fun and interesting scenarios that may happen, may never happen, may have happened to one or more of us. Just, talk about how we might respond.
Okay.
With no shame and no shade and no judgment. Maybe a little bit of judgment, but no shame.
And no
Maybe
shade.
a little bit of shade.
A little bit of
And
shade.
maybe a little bit of shade.
But no shame.
No shame.
No shame.
No
No
shame.
shame. No shame.
No shame in this game. Okay.
Right. No shame in your game.
Okay.
Okay.
It's time for a round of No Shame the Game. Okay, so scenario number one. You have a friend. You like to party with this friend. But every time you go out, they want to start a fight. So maybe it's the friend station you were just talking about who likes to keep it real and keeps it real with the wrong person in the club. Do you jump in? Do you jump in the fight? She's your girl though. Like
This
she's
my
your girl.
Yeah. So that's the clarifying questions. Do we want to have a round of clarifying questions?
Do we have any clarifying questions?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is my girl, like somebody I've known since college or elementary school, like girl, like roll dog girl. Okay. And every time, like let's say every time we go out or every other time, or is it like once a year?
Like 75% of the time.
75% of the time?
Like there's always that chance that nothing may happen, but more than likely it's going to happen.
Okay.
Any other clarifying? Because I know what my answer is.
Okay.
Monique's about to jump in it right now.
So just to level of friendship, like, what did you say, Leanna? What did we decide? How long of a friend?
Like we've known this person. Like this is our roll dog. Like this is our girl.
But we ain't putting no B in front of that friend, right?
It's like a best friend.
Your best friend?
Sorry, I was trying to be like trendy, like the
A bitchy friend.
I love it. And
Be
then,
in front
you
of
see
that
what
friend.
happens
All
when
my
you try
best
to do
friends-
that?
all
You
my best-
confuse people.
All to my point, all my best friends are bitchy.
Yeah.
So it could have
Best
gone
friends
either
are
way.
bitchy, I thought.
Yeah, it could have gone either way. All right, I'm ready.
I'm ready as well.
All right. So
Monique, you've been itching. You go right ahead and answer.
all right, this is my friend, and I already know this about her, yet I still choose to hang out with her. I already know what's gonna happen. So something's happening. I'm right there. I'm not gonna leave her there. Just be like, I will either have decided to not hang out with her anymore, or like, you just gotta come to my house. We can have drinks at my house. But if I've decided to go out with her, that means I am signing on for the ride. And this ride includes dragging some chick in the club, That's what's happening. It's gotta go down.
Right.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, I
Deanna?
agree. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, if we're fighting, we're fighting. Like, that's what we gotta do. That's what we gotta do. So, like, I agree with Monique. If the first time I'm shocked, like, what? Oh, we fighting? Okay, so then I have to jump in and actually see what I'm made of, because I've never actually been in any type of physical altercation in my life, except for with my sister when we were like 5 or whatever. She beat my ass. But I'm gonna fight. And then I can't be surprised anymore if at some point I'm no longer shocked. So either at some point I'm like wanting to go out there and get it on like that. I also want to fight.
You were looking for it. I'm looking for it tonight. I'm looking for
Let's
it.
go. I need to burn off some of this energy.
Right.
Or we gonna do the grown thing and just stay in the house. But if that's my roll dog, like I'm gonna try to do what I can. Or pull the fire extinguisher. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
That one.
Okay.
You trying to get out of this fight.
Nobody wants to get their hair wet. Let's get out of here.
It's an option.
I cannot fight. Okay. I know this about myself. I will be in your face. Like, you better stop. You better not come no closer. But like, I'm inching back as I'm saying it. Not this one. This one. I bet you won't. So honestly, that friend ain't calling me to come out with her, because she know that it's not.
That's not the scenario.
It was not the scenario. Yeah,
she does call you.
I'm not fighting. I will fight for my family. Like, I will and have fight for my family.
Oh,
I have an interesting family. And I will fight for my friends. That might extend here. But my roll dog, I'm going to get another one of those.
I just want all of y'all to realize she said that might extend to y'all here.
Did I say that? That's a Freudian slip.
I heard that.
That's a Freudian slip.
That might include y'all.
But there is on some level, no, if I got into a fight, I would feel some kind of way if you didn't do what you could. Pick up a bottle or something.
That's pause, right? Like, I'm talking about like roll dogs.
Right.
I'm talking about, and I got some roll dogs that I've known for a really long time. And I've actually been in this scenario before where somebody has like gotten jumped. This was in high school. Monique, you don't have
Monique,
to think
was
that
it
hard.
you?
You don't even
It was
have to
you who got jumped.
You don't even have to think that hard.
Let me tell you what it was not. It's me.
Don't get jumped.
You don't even have to think that hard. And I did exactly what I'm telling you I did. I was like, y'all better back up. No, you bet not. Oh, hold on a second. And then I picked up the phone and I said, so-and-so, your daughter is getting hurt.
I remember this.
I'm standing here and does anybody have a quarter for this payphone? I'm going to call her parents because they have to take her to the hospital.
I'm going to tell it on you, girl.
I called for help.
Okay.
All right, Stace.
You're not friends with her anymore though, right? Okay, let's move on. Siobhan. Let's just move on. Sorry.
I am also not fighting. I would probably preempt my friend to be like, look, bitch, I know how you do when we go out. I'm all for going out and getting some drinks and dancing and having a good time. I'm not jumping in it with you. I'm not doing that with you tonight. It's not going to happen. Because clearly it's not like, if someone were to like attack her for no reason,
different,
I would try my best to pull that person off. But clearly, if you're getting into a fight 75% of the time that we go out, it's you.
Yeah.
So I would just have to be like, I love you, but no.
Yeah.
I'm not, because I really can't. But I mean, I did take boxing lessons for a really long time, so who knows? I might mess somebody up, and then it could just become a problem.
I'm glad that we are recording today, because when we get to talking about surviving the zombie apocalypse and all y'all just admitting that y'all got no skills with your hands, I want y'all to remember this.
I never said that was my strength.
All right. We ain't even got to go with it. I got it on record, and that's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I mean, I said I took boxing lessons. That's what I'm just saying.
Moving on.
Because I'm a lover, not a fighter. Doesn't mean that I won't fuck somebody up. If it came to that.
Right.
Anywho. All right. So scenario number 2.
Okay.
Your best friend.
Okay. Let's talk about it.
So we're all there.
Okay.
Your best friend.
Got it.
Wins $1 billion
Uh-huh.
in the lottery.
Billion with a B.
Billion with a B.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do you expect to see any of that? And if so, how much?
Any friend of mine knows that I follow the teachings of the Oracle, Oprah Winfrey.
Oprah the Winfrey. Mm-hmm.
And when Oprah became a millionaire, she said it was no fun doing it by herself. So she broke Gail off a piece of that million. And in any relationship that I'm in with the 3 of you, I just want you to understand there's an expectation that you can't have fun by yourself. And so, like, I don't want to have to be like, oh, I would go on the trip if you could pay for it. Like, don't put me in that situation. Don't make me a beggar. Oh, I have work. I have to go to work. I'm sorry. Everybody doesn't have $1 billion. Like, so if I'm not even being selfish. $1 billion?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, is the question how much do we expect, or do we expect something?
Do you expect something? And if so, how much? Like, to be given something, not like, oh, if you go on a trip, your friend will pay for your ticket. Like, here is some money to deposit into your bank account.
Right. Lump sum amount.
I don't see why $1 million is unreasonable.
Oh, not unreasonable at all.
Okay. I have a clarifying question. I think.
I'm sorry. We should have asked. We should have asked for clarifying questions. I'm sorry.
Here's my clarifying question.
Mm-hmm.
Is the billion take home $1 billion, or is it like how it does with the lottery?
No, it's gross. It's gross. So you're only going to get like 700 million.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
700 million.
700 million is what I actually take home.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good. That's a good rate.
I mean, it's a good day. It's a good day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Good. 700 million.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You
so
ready?
$1 million, Stacia, that's what you said? At least.
At least.
Like, that's how much, like, if you don't get that, you would be pissed.
If I don't get that, I would be hurt before I would be pissed. And I'm not saying we wouldn't be friends anymore, but I would be doubting our friendship.
Your best
I would be doubting our friendship. I would be doubting our friendship. I'd be like, well, I'm gonna wait for her to call me, and I hope that my bill, I can pay my Verizon bill.
I don't even know if I could pay this bill.
All right, we're still in the same financial situation that we are today. You didn't
all of a sudden you're on the side of the street,
like, right. Right.
I'm outside begging, trying to make this mortgage. I don't know.
No.
Yes. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm done. I answered my question. Don't then ask me.
You did. Okay. I mean, you was making stuff up, but moving on, Liana.
If my best friend had $700 million that she took home and she didn't give me anything, like, we would have problems. We would have problems. Like, I'm not gonna be talking about my student loan payment and you in Bali with like bottomless, teepees or whatever. Like, you're not gonna be on the beach and and I'm still talking about, okay, I can maybe make this credit card payment, and like that's not what we.
I'm
That's
still
what we
following
approve.
Dave Ramsey's plan.
Yeah. So yeah,
I love how the richer your friend gets, the poorer you guys get. Like, what happened to you guys? Did she take the $700 million out of your pocket? Like, what happened?
I'm out on
stood
the
on the
street.
street and I got two Johns last night.
Trying to rub these two dimes together and make 25 cents.
This is how our conversations would start to be. Like,
Right.
I mean, right now, guys,
you would be resentful.
right now, we talk about things like, remember No Spin May? And
Yes.
how happy we were when we
Yes.
were like, oh, we paid this off. I'm not sharing that with you no more.
No.
It puts all kinds of dampers on our relationship. No, honestly, guys, I think we're looking at this the wrong way. We are all individuals. We have our own individual finances. We don't share our finances now. I think that as you've made, you won the lotto. You didn't win the lotto with all your friends. You have to, you go into it and you'd be grateful for whatever they give you. But honestly, at the end of the day, you can't expect anything. I'm lying. I expect to be broke off. That is not true whatsoever. I'm telling you, I want to be right there with you. And anything else I don't even know a number amount, but it has to be enough where I could stop working so that we can hang out.
Stop working.
So your best friend has to fund the rest of your life?
$750 million?
What are you doing?
700 million. Don't overinflate it.
All right,
Yeah,
not
she did add an extra 50 million on there.
Oh, let me tell y'all something. It don't take that much for me to quit this job I got. So I'll tell y'all right now.
You paying off my student loans.
$14. I'll take it.
The three of y'all could get together right now and I'd start working. Pull together enough money for me to start working. Trust.
Oh my gosh.
But I
Siobhan,
digress.
Oh, me?
what about you?
I would expect that my stuff would be paid for. Like all of my girls' trips and things would be paid for. I don't know that I would be like, you need to give me a lump sum of money. Like, I don't know that I would be resentful if I didn't get it. I would be happy to get it. Hint, hint, hint. If any of y'all playing the lotto. But yeah, I don't know that I would be like, oh yeah, I'm definitely getting like 2 million. I just don't. I would. But yeah, no, like if you want to go on a trip, if we going on a trip, I think you should pay. I expect to get nice gifts.
See, I would
for my
almost,
birthday.
if I was the person who won the money, I would almost rather just give the lump sum, and then that's where my
exactly,
my whatever ends for my friends and family.
Because then I'm nickel and diming.
I'm responsible for you for the whole rest of your life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess. But then what happens if it's gone in 5 years?
Which most lotto winners, this is the reason why lotto winners like lose all their money.
There's the reason why we're all not millionaires right now.
$700 million. I want to have some clarifying points. Siobhan, though, you're clear on my own expectations, right?
I am.
Okay.
And maybe you would start questioning our friendship. But maybe I'm starting to question our friendship right now.
I don't even
feel
know
like there's a lot in the parking lot.
I know. We'll take this offline. We'll take that offline. But yeah, I would.
I just wanted to do shameless plug. If you guys are planning on taking a girls trip, all of our listeners, there is a packing list up on our website, a free downloadable packing list.
Yes.
Because there are some people who take trips and who like to plan and who like to create full day itineraries and who are packed 2 weeks in advance and bring airplane snacks and bottles of water. And then there are some people who pack 5 minutes beforehand and maybe miss their flight 20% of the time. 20%? Is that a fair number?
That's fair. And also know that you can get a toothbrush and toothpaste and underwear and a lot of
True.
those essentials wherever you go.
True. That is true. I mean, the most important thing is a passport and a credit card. That's what I always say, but I'm still packed. To each other.
I would
So
say
if you're like me,
I would say the
Go on.
most important thing is to have somebody like Siobhan.
Exactly.
That's true.
Exactly.
I rely on Siobhan so wholeheartedly that I think that people think that I am more together. And then when they go on a trip with me in isolation, they're like, we thought you were more organized than this. And I'm like, I don't even know when my flights are. I just get in the car with Siobhan.
There's an important dynamic too. When you have somebody like a Siobhan who will put together the entire itinerary, you have to be complimentary to that and say, yes, 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 yes. You can't be the person because I've had that too, where like I've put together the itinerary and then they are like, nah, let's do this, let's do that, let's do that. You know,
Right.
That doesn't work.
Right.
So,
no. I try to be mindful though. I try to be mindful of everyone's interests.
It's true.
You do.
And I send it out for review several weeks beforehand, just so that everyone can look at it and give their feedback.
She is very efficient that way.
Speaking of girls trip, aside from the packing list, Monique, I believe you have something fun for us. So usually the way we do things here on the Confab Experience is we have a segment called Marry, Kill. I think y'all know what that means.
Wow.
Yeah. However, since it is National Girlfriend's Day, we're going to flip it around a little bit.
All right.
Instead, we're going to do tight, flight, or fight.
And now we'll have tight, flight, or fight. Right.
So Monique, explain that for us a little bit.
All right. So tight, flight, or flight is, I'm going to give you 3 celebrity women.
Okay.
And you will tell me who you would be tight with, your BFF, who you take a flight with, like a girls trip, and who you would fight that be on site.
Okay.
Okay.
You just had to throw another rhyming word in there, didn't you? Just to confuse all of us.
All right. So my 3 ladies are Beyonce, Rihanna, and Mary J. Blige.
Mary J. Blige. Okay.
Oh, wow. This is hard.
Okay. So Beyonce, obviously known for all the single ladies, all the single ladies, all the single ladies, all the single ladies.
I mean, yeah, sure.
That's one of her many songs.
Many songs.
Also known for
we know Beyonce.
About 100 other songs.
Yes. Humanitarian.
Pat Showy, baby. Pat Showy.
I'm ready. I'm ready if you guys aren't ready.
Yes. Go.
So flight for me was very easy. I'm going to go with Rihanna. I feel like she would be very fun on a girls trip. I feel like she has the hookups in the Caribbean. She knows all the best spots. She knows where to get all the best party equipment. So she's going to be my girls trip participant. Fight. I'm going to have to go with Beyonce on this. Unpopular opinion. One, because I am not in the Beehive. I'm just not. I'm sorry for everyone who is. I'm just not in it. I have respect for her, but I'm not like a fangirl of Beyonce, number 1. And number 2, I feel like Mary J. Blige would kick my ass. Whereas Beyonce, I could probably take, I feel like I could take her. She seems mellow enough that I could probably punch her a couple good times and run away.
Okay.
But, and Mary J. Blige seems cool enough. She's been through a lot, she's lived through some things. So we could talk on a different level. So those are mine.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah, those were good.
We'll be sure to
Thanks.
link over to Siobhan's personal handle so that y'all can come for her. As we
No
know you will.
disrespect to the Beehive at all.
No. It's
not
a
one of y'all.
hard choice. Come on.
Okay, who's next?
Who's next? Come on.
I'll go. Beyonce's my best friend.
My
Just want to
dreams.
learn from her and just like be in the realm of her sunshine.
Mhm.
Okay. I mean, I haven't encountered many stars that shine brighter than myself, but I think Beyonce I think Beyonce fits the bill. I mean, even my little one fans out on Beyonce. She walks like Beyonce. She, anyway. I mean, what she's done for the culture. I could go on for days.
Yes.
Beyonce. And also, Siobhan, as a rebuttal, her name is Beyonce. Okay, so I think that she might have a little something in her that people may think, she's all polished, but her name is Beyonce. Okay.
From the hood.
Yeah, H-Town, right? That's what they call it.
Is that a hood name?
How many Beyonces you know? Mary, I'm gonna have to. I agree with you for Rihanna. We can go on trips together, learn a few things. I feel like I would be like a more like worldly person in Rihanna's space, and she don't take no smack. Mary though, I'd have to fight her, I guess, if I had to, but it would be like this.
You would get stomped.
You would get stomped.
In her high
Absolutely.
boots, and she is in shape.
Right.
She really is.
Like she runs her.
It might look like a run. It might look like a run, like a throw rocks and run kind of thing. But that's what I'm going to do.
And she's got so much angst.
Exactly.
Right.
She
She got
would get
divorced.
real pissed.
She does
the
her best
relationship
music
that
when
I would
she's-
have with Beyonce and Rihanna would far exceed the butt whooping I'd get from Mary J. Blige. I only asked for my butt whooping in advance of my relationship with Beyonce and Mary J. Blige. So we would have a little bit more depth to talk about. Like every time I see her, be like, no, I don't mess with Mary. I'll mess with
You want to build it all into your
mess with Mary.
Your whole backstory.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
I don't mess with Mary, and Beyonce would accept that. And she would accept my philosophy of fourth grade loyalty. Like, if I don't like her, you don't like her. That's the kind of thing we rolling with. And I mean, I think that you guys wouldn't hear Mary's music anymore. I'm just saying.
Oh, you shutting the whole thing down. All right. Leanna.
Yes. So in advance of my answering this,
Okay.
I would just like to apologize to the Beehive. Please don't come for me. I know you guys love your queen, and please don't come for me.
Did you say, and I don't?
No, please don't come for me.
Okay. Okay.
And I don't.
Okay.
She did say, and I don't.
So for tight,
We have it recording.
for tight,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with Rihanna. Let me tell you why.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Because Rihanna is like a humanitarian.
Mm-hmm.
She's also like Caribbean, which we share.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like a businesswoman.
Mm-hmm.
And she be dating like kings or princes or something. Like she's still,
Fair.
like living the life, but then she's not so much in the spotlight, So I feel like she could still make all her moves like a not normal person, but a little more normal than like a Beyonce. So I feel like she would be fun, and she seems to have a really great heart, and she just relaxed, and you could relax around her and be open and free. So that's why I want to be tight with Rihanna. Because I like her music.
Okay.
Okay.
I've grown to love her music.
Don't be scared.
I think I want to go on a flight with Mary J. Blige.
Okay.
Because Mary, to me, like I've seen her in concert so many times, and she like just seems so fun, like down to earth. She just seems like she would just be fun, like a good weekend. She could throw back. She's got stories to tell. I asked her about how it was to be with Casey, you know, like how it was doing the song with Method Man. Maybe she could bring Method Man along. Oh my God. And then we could just chill, you know, like that would be so fun. And she, you know, like, yes. So then I would fight Beyonce.
In the story.
It's okay. We got each other's back, Leanna.
I'm not in the Beehive either. Take your place, Simba. I'm not in the Beehive.
All right, let's just move on.
I can't believe you just said
let's just move on, Stacia. Let's not dwell on it. I think my answer is exactly the same as Stacia's. I would be best friends with Beyonce because Beyonce. And I would hang out with Rihanna because I feel like, I mean, I would take a friend trip, girls trip with Rihanna, because she just definitely seems like she has all the fun. Every like shot of her hanging out is always like next level fun. I think Charlemagne the God, like one of his when he signs off on like Friday, he's like, do whatever Rihanna's doing this weekend. Like
yeah.
Ask yourself, what would Rihanna do and before you know, make whatever decision.
Right.
So definitely. And I would begrudgingly fight Mary J. Now I too think that she could fight.
Yeah.
I think she got those hands. And but I mean, you know, we had to make a choice, so it'd be
right. We had to make a choice. That's why.
Yeah, that's all.
That's why I wouldn't willingly fight Beyonce.
Me neither. I love Beyonce and her music.
She's great. Well, on that note, ladies, this has been so much fun talking to you
always
tonight. Yeah. Thank you for being here, for taking your time. To our listening audience, thank you guys also for being here. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did, and we hope you have a confabulous day.
Continue the experience on our social media handles at the Confab Experience.